Greetings and welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. I have a reading for you today again, an astrology reading, one of the readings with the real stars constellation. And maybe I just mention here again that the star constellation that we have in the moment that we look at here, as you see in the outer circle, are actually 28 degrees apart from the Western astrology. But this is what you see in the sky. The Western tropical astrology shows you a picture that was in the sky about 2000 years ago. And since never anything can be fixed, but everything is moving, it is important to see that if you want to see the real-time quality, the real star constellation are much more accurate. And also here we have no I am here. The stars, they show the curriculum of your life and not who you are. And this is a step that helps us to take responsibility for our own life and understand what quality of time is moving. And it doesn't matter if this is a whole lifetime, if it's a moon cycle, it's for an event or whatever, it always is this cycle. And we always have a beginning and we have an end. And the end is depending on how this, like, for example, if you have a meeting that goes 2 hours, so that is the whole chart, you can look in 2 hours. If you have a lifetime, there are several kind of exits, we can say, that you can choose to move on and to leave this cycle. But there are certain constellations that have to be there, otherwise it wouldn't work out. So you can also see, you can see that some people try to commit suicide and it just doesn't work out. And this is because there is no time quality for them to check out in the moment. But we can see that a lot of people are checking out in the moment, and this is why there is kind of a wide gate open since the false matrix has fallen. And what we are going through now is the real organic gate that is moving into another dimension and is a very, very powerful chance again for waking up. And there are souls who are kind of a little bit on the brink of waking up, but the circumstances in this life are very difficult. They choose to check out, to have another chance to move onto a higher timeline. So I think this is something very important that we have to consider from about time quality now. We have a dark moon here, and also I would like to correct something that in common astrology they talk about new moon. This is not a new moon, this is a dark moon or black moon. That means that you don't see the moon for at least about 5 days, 2 days before the day of dark moon itself and 2 days after. And on the third day after the dark moon, we have the rising crescent, which is the new moon that is visible, the new moon in the sky. So also when you talk about new moon is a complete different energy frequency. And since most of you most likely know that about the power of words, that words are also part of how we create our life, how we take responsibility to our life with our words. You can imagine how important that might be. So when we look at this dark moon in the moment, this is in Taurus. And again, this is completely different from Western astrology. There would be in Gemini, but we're not there yet. We're in Taurus. And Taurus is the sign of manifestation. Now, when you look at the whole topic of manifestation, which is actually here, when we have here the AC starts in Aries, it is representing a new beginning. Like the first house always represents a new beginning. And when we have also the first sign in there, it shows us that is a new beginning. And then part of the sign, that one with the planets inside in the house, the sign is Taurus. So in the first house, Taurus means that we start to materialize a new world. We have Uranus as the first planet here coming up. And Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, shows us that this is in harmony with a higher energy. The 11th house, Aquarius, is giving us the input, the inspiration, inspiration from the divine, from the higher self, whatever you want to call it, to create something new. It is like the seed of the new creation of the world. We can say that the new creation or an old creation, we are going actually back and recreate the new of the organic matrix. And this will lead to higher timelines. In any case, wherever you go, in whatever level, and there are many, many levels, it's like there are many apartments in this house, in this new house. So depending where you are going, you will go straight forward, that you can take everything that you had before and move forward, to move into a higher consciousness, to unlearn and let go all that what you have still from the old false matrix with you. So now we are moving forward into a new creation. Now this is very important, because here we also have Mercury, Moon, and Sun. Moon and Sun is consciousness and soul. Mercury is the player of the game. This is, if you want to say something I am, then you should say that for Mercury, because this is the player that comes onto the stage, that carries inside of this body, that physical body, that is the spirit that is inside, that makes that body going. So we have a very powerful planet conjunction here. And this is like the physical body, even the ego, the constellation of our identity as a human being. That is like the spirit in this human body having a human experience is now inspired by a higher energy, which we, again, you call it your higher self, the divine self, you can call it God or angels or guides. It doesn't matter. But this is the inspiration that is in the moment in. And where does it lead? We have the gift, and the gift is a planet that usually people don't like. And this is Pluto, but that is connected with the transformation. And you can see that Pluto in Capricorn, this is the last Earth sign. And that is about to release, to let go, to move forward, to let go all the old beliefs, the old habits, and everything what we've done, what we've learned behind us, and step into response ability to the divine, to our self with a capital, to the higher self that is having this experience. And understand again that Mercury, or your ego, your personality, is the game player here on the stage. And it's literally, it's the easiest way to understand what is going on. You say you are sitting with a team of actors. You can say that these are your angels, the Lord of Karma, whatever. And you look at the games that are being played in the moment. And then when you see a game that is really accurate for you in the moment, that is something that also holds the karma and the unfinished business, like that movie or that screen that you're stepping in with this next play, then you choose what game you play. Then you will receive all the things that you need for your role. Like we can say, again, we go in a theater, you receive the costume, and there are the scenes, the background scenes and everything ready. And then you step onto the stage and start to play that role that you have chosen. And of course, you had a script for that role, and this will be the astrology, we can say. That is the script of the time quality and how it elapses, what you have possibilities. But the thing is, in this stage, on this role, every player has a say. So the main topic is outlined, but you have the possibility to play your character in the way of either a victim or successor. So it's up to you, whatever you do in this game, in this role play, how you experience it. And this is what you choose. You choose the experience. So for whatever happened in life, you can experience it as a chance, as a challenge, or something horrible. Like, for example, you have an accident. I am not saying a bad one, but you had an accident that interrupts your daily routine. So you can be very angry and suffer it, but you can also kind of think, okay, I got a break. It's good for me. Or so that's maybe when you have a illness and you're in bed for a couple of days, which is your body telling you that you need some rest. So you can just do it, or you can be angry. So this is what you can choose, how you want to experience it. Now, when we have here a new chance and a new beginning with the higher consciousness that is influencing our ego, we start to see through our behavior. We start to see the role play that we are incarnated in, or that we wear the customs of being the makeup, the costume, or whatever that we are carrying in a moment, which is including the body of male or female, it doesn't matter, that we are here to go forward on a certain experience. And that we also have, to a certain degree, the free will to bend that experience, as long as the players around us are also inclined to go along with. And sometimes you just move on to another stage. That's okay too. And you can see that like in life when people are kind of suddenly, oh, I haven't seen that person for a long time. And you realize that your wavelength has changed so much that you have no affinity to that other person anymore. And this is how it goes. So we can say there is not just one stage, but there is one major topic in every life and also in every new cycle. So when we have here a moon cycle of 28 days that is starting now, that could be also the birth chart of somebody who is born exactly at that moment on the coming dark moon. So this would be the chart, depending on how I make it for London, for as the world horoscope for everybody. But depending on where somebody would be born, that this conjunction would be somewhere else in the chart, but it still would be the same chart, but turned around, like the wheel turned around according to the time. Now, when we look at here, let's have a look at 12th house. 12th house is always very important because the 12th house shows kind of the unfinished business. So interestingly, we don't have any planet in Aries, but we have all the planets here in Pisces. And Pisces is always the place, it's the sign of the house anyway, and Neptune is here too. So we have the same, we have 12th house, we have Pisces and Neptune, all the three elements that belong together in the 12th house together with Saturn. Saturn, who is the one that is ending something, that is forcing us to let go of things that do not belong. And then we have Venus, which is connected with creation, and we have Chiron that is connected with illness. So we have different ways that the role can play out of this new manifestation when we look at the karmic aspect. So we have the new beginning, we have fire, and in the 12th house, we have these planets that are showing that some hidden stuff is coming to the surface, because even if we don't comprehend that in the moment, it is influencing. See, you have the aspects going here, all of them, even here, there is a half square, which is a karmic aspect that is influencing the way that we behave, that people behave, that the world is behaving in the moment, but it's not completely visible yet. I mean, I don't have to point out much all the disclosure that is happening just about this, the shots that we had a few years ago and the consequences now, what really happened then, that is all coming to the surface. So this is hidden part that some people, the dark ones, really try to hide, and thinking that people are, let's say, stupid enough to believe all that. But now a lot of people are waking up, and this is our big chance, the waking up process. And we have here this with the trine, the Pluto here, that is that transformation of the individual and the collective. Now, when you are kind of living a life believing that certain authorities, they mean well and they do good for you, and you suddenly are confronted with, oh my God, that's not true. They didn't do that, in the opposite. And that will be first quite a shock. And that's okay. That's a shock that needs to be, because every time when you wake up, like suddenly wake up, it is like a shock because you change reality and dimension. This is kind of similar like in the morning, that those who don't wake up with the natural rhythm and they need a what do you call it, that thing that rings in the morning, and they usually come from somewhere where the soul has been and is pulled back into the body rapidly. And this is very often connected with a very fast heartbeat. And this is like you're pulled back into the body from somewhere else. And that is the first moment, is a shock. And then you realize, oh, okay, I'm here. You don't think here I'm in the body coming from a different dimension. It's just like a thing that people are used to wake up in the morning, but most people have no idea that they really literally leave their body and have complete different experiences, because beyond our sleep, that is maybe say 8 hours that you go to bed, you sleep, you have different REM phases, the rapid eye movement, that people can see that we dream. But this is not just dreaming, this is experience other realms. And in these other realms, the time is completely different. So it is very much possible that you can live a whole lifetime in a few minutes in your so-called dream. So what is happening now, that we are moving forth and back from realms, and this is helping here for that transformation. And when we think Pluto Scorpion, this is the transformation from the caterpillar into the butterfly that helps us to move into another stage. Now, when you compare a caterpillar and a butterfly, you wouldn't even think that they have something in common. But that's what it is. It is that transformation within that cocoon, that literally dying and being reborn process in the body, that is giving us the sample what is happening with us. And now when we are moving into that higher dimension with Capricorn, the last sign of physical death, where we let go of all the things that we carry, the burden, you know, the backpack, and the backpack has also all the habits and even a lot of physical things that we let behind because they don't say anything to us anymore. It's like the 3-year-old who had, say, for example, a 3-wheel bike. Now it's 10 years old. If your parents would insist that you still ride this 3-wheel bike, you would be very angry because you want a 2-wheel real bike. And that's again, it's the soul moving into that higher dimension. It does not want those kindergarten toys anymore that we had before. So the step is forward to let go. But it's like a lot of people still hold on to their puppets and to their games they played because actually, they think it was innocence. Yes, it was in the beginning when you are really new to the planet and you start to discover life again. But when you're older, you realize that you don't come from nothing, no thing. Nothing comes from no thing. So there is some kind of a background behind you that defines what you are now. And the same is with the time, with the moon cycles, there is a background. You cannot cut off everything and say, this is a new beginning, there is nothing beyond. But this is what is beyond. This it was influencing now our step forward into materializing a new world. And then see, we go a step further, we find here Jupiter also here in Taurus, to move forward, to interrupt the old rhythm, the old beingness, and to move forward. Like, see, Sagittarius is the goal here. Sagittarius is the sign that moves beyond, the bridge builder. When we go over a bridge, you remember that maybe in old mythology, always the river Styx was that death crossed the river Styx into another dimension of the death. So this is every time when we cross a bridge, it means that we move on to something. And this is actually what is happening here with Jupiter on the real physical level. That on the real physical level, you move on into another country, so-called. And now it is up to us. And here we see the challenge. Here we have the square. The challenge is that it's not easy for us to make that step because most people are beings of habit. But the habits will be interrupted. No way, whatever you do, and depending on your own chart, depending on your own time quality in the moment, it will hit you if you are not ready to go forward, for example, with an illness, with an accident, with some force coming from outside. If you do not release that energy from the inside and make the steps forward yourself, it will come back. It's coming, like the energy is there anyway, it will hit you. It will hit you from the outside. So when you contemplate that topic a little bit, that now we are at the brink of materializing that new world, and the new world is here. See, Mars is just moving into Leo, and Leo is the sign of the adult. When we have first the child and the adult, then we move forward to take back responsibility for our being. And here is Mars with another trine to Venus. This means that I talked about that long time, many times. And this is about the balance, the yin and yang within us, and here the Chiron, the healer, to heal ourselves. I actually realized I also try sometimes to heal an illness, to heal a symptom. It doesn't work. You have to heal yourself. And heal again, the word healing is holy, is the root is coming, become holy, become whole, to put it together again, meaning that you know that you are a spirit having a human experience, and you are not the human being. This is just the role that you play. This is the stage that you're on here. And now it's time to take responsibility to respond to the situation that you are in right now, because you have created, I have created the circumstances in my life. And if I don't take responsibility and act, there will be reaction, as I said, then it will hit me from the outside to correct my path. That is the divine grace to help us to move forward towards our true goal. So that is the time quality for the moment. I hope that helps you to understand a bit better what is going on right now. I leave you with that. I hope you have time for some meditation, contemplation about that, because it's very powerful. It's a very, very powerful time we live in, and it's time to be responsible. Respond. What you resist persists. What you look at disappears. I wish you a good time. I will do most likely a card reading next weekend, and look forward to see you again. Bye-bye for now.